my god. Dude, I fucking hate that more than anything. Dude, song, man. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, what the... Oh my god, oh my fucking 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 god. That red flame will haunt my fucking nightmares. Yep, that's what I thought. Fuck my life. Just cannot get over this. I overlapped the solo act, didn't I? You've got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be. Oh my fucking god, that hurts so fucking bad. I don't even have words to describe it. That makes me fucking sick to my stomach. I thought I was free. Ugh! Fuck my life, man. Fucking kidding me. What do I have to do, man? What deal do I have to make? Oh my god. Oh my god. Save me. if you do, damned if you motherfucking don't. I just cannot believe this. Yep, I'm in that. It's fucking over! Yes! Fuck yes! 413. Shit ticks. There are not enough words in the fucking dictionary to describe how little I give a shit that I did not get 413.1 or whatever arbitrary milestone beyond this. This was the only way I was getting 413 on this, is with this unfucking believably ridiculous second act that I had to hit probably 30 or more times over the course of, like, goddamn, probably... I don't even want to think about how long I spent on this. This was Madhouse 2.0. In both how difficult this was to do and how much it just utterly crumbled me mentally. Oh my god, it's fucking over, dude. There just aren't words to describe how relieved I am. They just don't exist. Get back on track here. I mean, I don't even know. There was no track. It was just pure relief. So, in comparison to Madhouse, I was not doing this to get first. And obviously with like 4 or 5 of these failed post-second act runs, I already had first. I just knew that I needed to close this out with all the squeezes and get 413. The 1,000 milestone in this case, it means a lot on some songs. In this case, this was just about me getting closure on this, getting all the squeezes in a run and stop fucking up, close this out proper. And the 413 was just that extra little push that I needed motivation-wise. And so yeah, motivation-wise, this was quite a bit different than Madhouse. Of course, that was so unbelievably irritating for a different reason, and that the first place score was so much higher than second and had no proof attached, and wasn't done on Xbox, so there was no leaderboard potential proof. It was just a fucking mess. So that was what fueled so much of the misery and anger behind that grind. This is just so unbelievably fucking hard. That second act is undoubtedly the hardest non-whammy act I've ever hit. 100%. And it's not even because, like, it's a 1-frame window. I'm almost positive it's a 2-frame window, like every other double in that tempo range. It's like 160-ish. But what makes it so fucking hard is the charting and execution of it. And this is with me changing the act around from where I was doing it initially. This is the best I could do with this, really. And whatever alternatives you're thinking about, I guarantee I went through them and they just did not work out for me for various reasons. The main reason I stuck with that blue-orange front end on after the triple strums that I used for the first several times I hit the squeeze is because the tempo is actually lower in that area, and with how ridiculously tight the squeeze is, I was so afraid to deviate from that at all. The tempo goes from like 164 down to 162 at first green triplet strumming, and then I would activate right after that, and so I thought it was taking advantage of the tempo, and I thought that if I moved it back to the first set of chords, which is, you know, obviously what I would ideally like to do and ended up doing, I feared that I might lose a frame and just might make this completely impossible. Even if not literally, then figuratively impossible to hit a 1-frame extended hit window act with that crazy execution with any sort of consistency that would make getting past to the solo and that god-awful last act possible. So anyway, that's how I ended on the execution that I'm using here. Again, even though it still fucking sucks, particularly on the back end. The other thing that makes this act so fucking awful is the fact that basically every other squeeze that I've went for, even in the same frame data range, has been at the beginning of the song. You know, Laugh Track, Search and Destroy, Surrender, Mr. Fix-It, all of these songs' first acts are very close to the beginning of the song. And this act isn't. Not only is it, what, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes into the song, It's also gate-kept by that first fucking act, which is annoying as fuck in itself. So even to get a shot at this insanity, you have to go through that first irritating trial, and oh my god, I cannot explain how just defeating and shit it feels to choke a run post second act and just go back to missing on that first one. Mother of fuck, that is the worst feeling in the world. The biggest problem I had with that act for sure was red flaming the front end. There were points in the first couple days especially of this grind where I just hit a wall where I would just red flame over and fucking over again, that front end. Thankfully that started to subside over the past couple days especially. But yeah, I missed the back end quite a bit. Obviously my goal was to make that first act as consistent as possible, but there's only just so much you can do with an act that hard. And so as long as I wasn't red flaming the front end, honestly I had upwards of 90% consistency on it. Even still, that 10% that I didn't make it past sucked. And that's not even counting missing the orange early whammy, hitting it too early. Or God forbid, fucking missing trying to get glitch ticks. Because those certainly were important, weren't they? Now, all of that I described is just to make it to the solo. One of the solo acts is free, but the solo that you're activating on is very much not. But anyway, the first solo act is very much not free. I don't know if a double squeeze is possible there with extended hit window. I still don't even know if that is a full bar act. The only thing I do know is I tried this on some failed runs. The second phrase does not give a half bar. Now I know the first phrase gives slightly over a half bar, but I still don't know if the two phrases together give a full bar, which made that act just incredibly anxiety-inducing, on top of the already very obvious reasons being post-act 2. And also the front-end activation is really annoying. For the first couple days or so, I was just activating on the blue, but the timing from the blue to yellow is longer than from the yellow to the actual red back end that the path uses, so I decided to stick with the path because the frame data was just better. But even still, that act was miserable to hit under that pressure, overlapping that front end, just not being able to hold it together and focus and hit the back end early enough. Absolutely fucking sucks. Then the trill activation, I mean, it really just, again, it just fucking sucks having to activate on that trill, because ideally I want to tap it, but I have to activate and make sure to activate just early enough to not overlap the fucking front end. Then I have to one hand at least 2 or 3 notes in the trill before going up to tap. And if anybody actually watched the choke reel, the trill was just like the bait. That is not even close to the final boss of why the solo was so fucking obnoxious post Act 2. That section after the solo is so fucking awkward, and just timing those individual strums under that pressure is... I can't even describe it. Not being on a post-Act 2 run, it is no problem whatsoever. But when you're under that kind of pressure and you're just numb and just begging for this to be over, God, it is so unbelievably fucking hard. It makes Solo 2B in Search and Destroy look like nothing. On many, many runs that I actually made it past the solo, or at least quote-unquote thought I did, in the case of a couple, like the front-end trill overlap and like one other, I made it past that part just by strumming seemingly randomly and just fretting and just hoping things worked out. And they did several runs, and so I actually stopped from going back and trying to just absolutely hone that and ingrain that execution as tightly as possible, because I was just able to get past it most runs. But again, trying to practice something like that is almost just, it almost feels completely worthless because you cannot replicate that pressure outside of practice mode. And like I said, when you hit something basically every single time in a vacuum, it doesn't even help that much to practice it, which is so fucked because it just feels like completely hopeless. Like there's not a goddamn thing you can do to increase your consistency. And that anxiety just eats you alive as you're getting to that part and beyond it, thinking about what you might throw away. But yeah, the act itself is actually completely free, obviously. It just ends on a long sustain. As for the nearly ideal upper bound back end, I never even got close, really. And of course, I'm not speaking about runs that I was post Act 2. I'm speaking about runs way before I hit that squeeze and was just trying to see what was possible, and using extended hit window on the trill, you know, obviously as best I possibly could. Yeah, I never got particularly close with that act. But yeah, there may be 400 more points here on, you know, plus ticks, obviously, on the 2 solo acts, but those are for the fucking birds, man. And trust me, I had some serious consideration about just trying to push those while doing the tick second act to just get over the 413 barrier if I was able to get one of those. But again, the difference is that, first of all, those are way later in the song than the second act, especially in the case of the actual path plus 200 on the trill act. But also the big difference is that I've actually hit this stupid second act, and although I probably should have tried a little bit harder for the solo ones, I never hit either of those, so that was pretty much the decider right there. Along with the fact that, again, it was part of my just general stubbornness that I had to get this fucking run together with this second act and all of the normal squeezes, at least. And going into this last act, this is really where the Madhouse 2.0 comparison starts lining up in parallel, because these two acts are incredibly similar, and straight up this one might even be harder. And the front end execution is unbelievably nerve-wracking. And on top of that, you know, even nerves aside, it's just really awkward because you have to activate immediately after whamming the last phrase. Trying to use extended hit window, you have to release 2 frets, one of them with your pinky, which is where at least one of those front end last act chokes happened from. Pushing those whammies, man, oh my god, that is so fucking hard. That is so impossible under that pressure. For the first phrase, that yellow-blue does not have a big hit window. The red behind it actually does, but all the fretting involved with that just makes it so incredibly awkward and hard to push. And then the 2 chords, because hitting that early whammy is the same sequence as the first act back end, which I've missed, you know, I missed quite a bit just from hitting it too early. That was always running through my mind when I got to those. Yeah, it's so much. And that final back end, oh my god. I don't even need to describe it. If you watch the choke reel, Jesus fucking Christ, that pressure on that final back end. In those runs that I either missed it by hitting it too early or just missed getting it under star power, it felt like somebody tied a fucking anvil to my heart. It dropped so fast. That feeling was so terrible. And honestly, I am in shock that either of the 2 runs that I really thought I was on the pace for, obviously this one, and then the overlapped trill act run, I can't believe I didn't choke after that, man. Especially on that final set of chords. For how many times I missed from those 2 green strums into the red-blue, all across the song, post-act 2 especially, I just cannot believe I held that together. Yeah, this is right up there with Madhouse is the hardest thing that I have done, not only in this game, but in the entire series. In any video game, for sure. And this is the kind of thing to, like, just uploaded the Last Child video, and as of now, the only comment on that, it's been up for a few hours, the only comment is, "What's next?" And it's just like, oh my fucking god, is it never enough, dude? Like, and on the one hand, I'm glad that people, you know, seem to have some interest in what I'm doing and want to see me do more stuff, but on the other hand, it's just like, give me a fucking break, man. And I know that's not even fair to say, because people don't know what's going on behind the scenes and don't know what I'm already working on, but if you did, I can only hope that people would have a second thought about, like, not even a good job or anything. It's just, what are you doing next? Can you do this? Answer the 20th Jordan comment on the, just, yeah. Sorry, I really just had to get that out, because this just caused me so much immeasurable pain. So this concludes the Xbox. I mean, this really concludes everything that I felt like I really needed to do. There's still a lot of stuff that I want to go back for, a lot of songs that I just was not satisfied with my first experience with, especially near the end of my first SG's life. But this was the one thing that I knew I had to finish. And who knows, maybe I'll have some fun with the DLC, the few DLC songs I have, or just whatever. But it feels so incredible to finish this off. So this might be weird, because I might post this before Thunder Horse. I probably will. So yesterday, by reclaiming the Thunder Horse record, I achieved 74 out of 74 first places on October 20th. And so now, having finished this, I kind of just feel like I'm done. I might just take a big, long break or something. Or whatever, who knows. The main point is that I don't feel like I have to do anything. Fuck this song, fuck Madhouse, fuck these ridiculous squeezes. I'm done.